Peak Performance Coach AJ Madden here. Today we'll cover principle number 1, live by example. This is one of our 12 power principles from 1% Warrior Leadership, available on Amazon.com and my website, CoachAJMadden.com. Live by example. Easily one of the most important principles of our 12. Let's start out with a quote from Kobe Bryant. The most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they do. And living by example, leading by example is a foundational principle of leadership. Your speed, your energy becomes the energy of your team when you're in that leadership position, because you are always under the spotlight. You're always under the microscope. From the second that you walk in the building, the organization, onto the field, into the arena, you're under the microscope. You're under the spotlight and you're being examined. What you say, how you behave, your habits, your attitudes, they're all magnified exponentially when you're in that leadership position. This is why it is so crucial that we not only try to lead by example, but our principle is live by example. And that is to live a certain way, not just inside of work, but outside of work. Everywhere we go, to live our values, to live legally, morally, and creating win-win situations for others, to treat others with respect and dignity, if that's one of your core values, to have a sense of urgency, if that's one of your core values, to bring energy and passion to the work you do, if that's one of your core values. This is in having high standards inside and outside of work. So we have living by example encompasses our core values that we live inside and outside of work, and the standards that we bring to our life and to our work and leadership. So what we do in these videos is we cover some key points from the principles that we cover, and then we expand on them. We expand and go beyond what's just in the book. So often, living by example is not just starting something new or doing something. It is, what do we need to stop doing to be a better example for our team members, for our families, for our community, if we're in a leadership position? What is it that we need to stop doing? And I challenge leaders often to think about this. What's the one thing that they need to stop doing that is holding them back most? And I think about this myself as a peak performance coach and trusted advisor to high impact leaders. I think about this in my coaching. What do I need to stop doing that's holding me back the most? I think about this in my leadership. What's the one thing that I need to stop doing that's holding me back the most? Easy example for many leaders is mindless negativity. That is, if they are bringing any mindless negativity to their communication inside and outside of work, which I define as gossiping, complaining, blaming, condemning, and venting. And there's different levels of this. Maybe it's just occasionally, maybe it's often. That's one that I challenge leaders. If there's any of that going on in your communication style, do everything you can to eliminate that. If you do, you'll set a better example. Another important live by example is being on time. Another one, so would be stop being late. And these are things to stop. Another one would be not doing what you say you're going to do, not being your word. Stop breaking your word. Keep your word. Another one that I see over and over again that leaders need to stop doing is being on a digital device in meetings, in one-on-one conversations. And this is inside and outside of work. This is with their family at home. This is at work with teammates. Stop being on digital devices when you don't have to be. That's your cell phone, that's your laptop, whatever the case may be, your computer. Stop doing that when you need to be focusing on the person that's in front of you. That's a big one. I gave you 4 really big things to consider stopping: mindless negativity, being late, not doing what you say you're going to do. That could mean canceling at the last minute or not meeting deadlines that you said you were going to meet. And number 4 would be stop using digital devices when you should be focused on the person sitting in front of you or your family or a meeting that you're in. There's 4 big ones to consider. Here's a quote from Dr. Richard Wiseman, and this is from his book, 59 Seconds. He said, when you gossip about another person, listeners unconsciously associate you with the characteristics you are describing, ultimately leading those characteristics being transferred to you. It is black magic, as Don Miguel Ruiz, author of The Four Agreements, says. Gossip, this mindless negativity, it's black magic. It's dark, and it is one of the worst things that we can do as a leader. It is the opposite of living by example. The gossiping, the complaining, the venting, the condemning, blaming, all 5 of those things. That's a big one to eliminate. Again, things you stop can be equally, if not more powerful than the things that you start. I've seen this over and over and over again. So I challenge you to think about not just leading by example, but living by example, inside and outside of work, and knowing that you're always under the microscope. You're always under the spotlight when you're in a leadership position. You know, the higher up you get, the brighter the spotlight you're under, the heavier the magnifying glass is. And I challenge you to live by example. Live a certain level of standards and live a certain quality of values, because someone's always watching and someone's always listening. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe. If you found this video useful, please share it with someone else you believe will also find it useful. Please pick yourself up a copy of 1% Warrior Leadership, available on Amazon, on my website, coachajmadden.com. This is 20 years of leadership study and practice. The last 20 plus years of my life poured into one book, the best of the best practices that I have discovered and used myself and taught to many others. This is the leadership book I wish I would have had 20 years ago. It would have given me many, many shortcuts and a lot less headaches, so to speak. And it would have accelerated my ability to become a good leader and would have cut years off my learning curve. Right here. Here it is. I challenge you to lead by example and take it one step beyond that and live by example.